Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 2760, 1 The Winged Race 1. I don't understand. What's the point of doing this? If everyone dies, what's the use of power and status? Zhang Yi asked, sounding very puzzled. Moreover, now that all races are reviving and ancient civilizations are returning one by one, the Dragon Clan, the Tyrannosaurus Clan, and even that Star Corridor, in this situation of numerous powerful forces rising together, what makes the Holy See believe they have the power to reset the world to zero? This sounds more like the delusion of a bunch of lunatics. You're right. Montesquieu looked at Zhang Yi with a mixture of pity and fear in his eyes. The most fanatical followers of Juno are all madmen. Truly madmen. They do not pursue power, wealth, or even immortality. They only pursue that one sacred mission. For this goal, they are willing to give up their lives without hesitation, sacrifice their souls, and even drag the whole world down with them. Never try to use common sense to predict the behavior logic of a group of madmen. Montesquieu summarized it in one sentence. Zhang Yi remained silent. He thought of the fanatics he had met before. Their fervent gazes were truly chilling. Of course, a group of madmen alone cannot destroy the world. Montesquieu then dropped a bombshell. The most crucial intelligence we currently possess is that the Holy See is not fighting alone. They have reached a deep alliance with a very powerful, even terrifying, ancient civilization. That civilization is called the Winged People. In ancient Western texts, they have another more widely known name, Angel. Angel? An angel? Zhang Yi's eyes narrowed. That's right. She is the angel in the eyes of the world. Montesquieu nodded. This angel is not that angel. This is a huge historical misunderstanding. The concept of angels actually did not originate in the West, but rather in the eastern country of Huashu. Just like the term, which was originally a name for the supreme god in the ancient Huashu language, it was later borrowed by Western missionaries. The so-called angels are actually the feathered people recorded in the ancient book of Huashu. The classic of mountains and sea states, the feathered people country is located in the southeast. Its people have long heads and feathers on their bodies. They are descendants of the fourth Muyak people. The information from his conversation with Bai Longzi flashed through Zhang Yi's mind. The fourth civilization, the Yake civilization. That was an extremely glorious era in Earth's history, and the most outstanding among the Yak people were the feathered people. They possessed pure white wings and wielded the power of light and heat. At that time, they were the absolute rulers of the sky. The dragons once mentioned it to me. Zhang Yi said in a deep voice, the strength of the feathered people is no weaker than that of the dragon people. Yes. Montesquieu sighed. Imagine if there were a legion of angels, with the strength of dragons, coupled with a group of fearless, fanatical cultists spread across the globe. Wouldn't their desire to destroy the world become quite possible? The atmosphere in the room instantly became heavy. Zhang Yi finally understood why Montesquieu had to hide for 2 years. Faced with an enemy of this caliber, the pupil organization would likely be annihilated in an instant if exposed. So it is. Zhang Yi nodded, accepting the explanation. No wonder the Pope has always kept a low profile, and even after the revival of all races, the papacy has still been able to maintain its territory in Europe. It turns out there's something else going on behind the scenes. He looked at Montesquieu, his gaze sharpening once more. The information you provided is indeed very valuable. But what I'm more concerned about is, you just said you could help me become an Omega. Since you can't even deal with the Holy See, what ability do you have to help me take that final step? This is Zhang Yi's biggest concern. The king level is Omega. That is the end of the level of life, the realm of true divinity. Although Zhang Yi is powerful now, he can feel that his strength is still far from enough. Faced with those higher-level beings in this world, and the druk gods who have destroyed one era after another. Only those who have reached the Omega level have the ability to protect themselves. Montesquieu paused for a moment. He originally thought Zhang Yi would be intimidated by the secrets of the Holy See and the feathered race, but he didn't expect Zhang Yi's focus to shift so quickly and so pragmatically. The old man shook his head and chuckled, a smile tinged with mystery. Your Excellency Zhang Yi, you are too impatient. It's not the right time for me to help you yet. What's the meaning? Zhang Yi frowned, somewhat displeased. Are you just making empty promises to me? Old man, hurry up and hand over the burning technique. I see you're already courting death. No, it's definitely not just empty promises. Montesquieu said, the path to godhood requires not only the accumulation of power, but also an opportunity and a key. Although you are currently very powerful, you still lack the necessary experience and understanding. You have just experienced an earth-shattering battle. Although your combat power has soared, your foundation is still unstable. You need time to calm down, to meditate, and to comprehend the essence of the rules. As for the help I mentioned, the old man pointed to his own eyes, then to the sky. When you finally stand in front of that door and find that you can't open it, I will give you that key. Giving it to you now would do you no good. Another riddle teller like him. Zhang Yi was speechless, but he could also sense that Montesquieu was not lying. At this level, some things truly cannot be expressed in words. All right, reflection and meditation. Zhang Yi shrugged. It sounds like the ascetic practices of an old monk, but that is indeed my current weakness. His strength increased too rapidly in a short period of time, and he really needs time to stabilize his realm, especially after experiencing the impact of the Nightmare Clan on his mental level. He needs to recuperate even more. However, Montesquieu changed the subject, a glint of shrewdness flashing in his cloudy eyes. Although the Omega issue can't be rushed for now, there's one thing I think we can agree on right now. You mean the Starry Sky Corridor? Zhang Yi responded instantly. At a time like this, the reason he's being called over can't be anything else. The world's attention is now focused there. Yes. Meng Desa's dove smiled. According to our observations of the universe, the Star Corridor will arrive in 2 years. It is filled with unknown dangers, but also with the legacy of a civilized society. Although the pupil organization is not good at close combat, we have unique advantages in intelligence gathering, deciphering ruins, and circumventing certain special rules. We can form an alliance and go together. Chapter 2762, The Winged Race 2. Only at this moment did Zhang Yi fully see through the old fox's true intentions. The guidance from Omega and the secrets of the Vatican are all just prelude. Montesquieu's real goal was to board Zhang Yi's big ship and get a share of the pie in the Starry Sky Corridor. After all, given Zhang Yi's current strength and the alliance with the Dragon Clan, he is definitely the strongest ally for entering the Starry Sky Corridor. That old guy, he's got a pretty good plan. Zhang Yi chuckled inwardly, but he didn't expose him. Having more allies means having more options, especially an old coin like the Hitomi organization that has survived for 2,000 years. They are definitely a good asset when it comes to exploring ruins. An alliance? Zhang Yi picked up his teacup, took a small sip, and a meaningful smile appeared on his face. He neither immediately agreed nor refused. We'll see when the time comes. If you can keep up with me. Montesquieu smiled upon hearing this. He knew that this was tacit consent. Outside the window, the sea breeze rustled through the maple forest. A new plan for the future was quietly laid out amidst this seemingly casual conversation. After bidding farewell to the ghost guild leader who had lived for 2,000 years, Zhang Yi led his group away from Oyster Island, located in the cracks of the material world. Passing through the golden portal, the salty sea breeze was instantly replaced by the dry air of Amami City. Looking at the familiar steel jungle and the bustling reconstruction scene before them, everyone felt as if they had been transported to another world. What an incredible old man. Brian glanced back at the now disappeared spatial fluctuations inside. Every time I see the president, it feels like I'm flipping through a thick history book. Professor Da Vinci glanced at the dog, who had a penchant for being serious and profound, and said coldly, "Are you trying to say that he's an old man?" "Hi, bro. We're all cultured people. We should speak politely." "Zhang, do you think what I said makes no sense?" Zhang Yi didn't reply, but instead turned to look at the eccentric genius beside him, who was still fiddling with the portable analyzer. "Professor Leonardo da Vinci," Zhang Yi asked, his tone tinged with curiosity. "Why would someone like you, who stands at the top of the pyramid of human intelligence, choose to join the pupil organization? Montesquieu may be mysterious, but he seems more like a charlatan." "A charlatan? Oh." Da Vinci also raised his head, his mechanical eyes flashing blue light. "Montesquieu was a very charismatic leader. Of course, that's not the main reason." He stopped moving, raised his head, and a very realistic smile appeared on his face, which was even somewhat perverted. Then he bent his finger and made a classic money gesture. "The main reason is the pupil tissue is very expensive. Extremely expensive. Zhang Yi. Moreover, their intelligence network spans the globe and has even infiltrated the interiors of many ancient civilizations. This is an irresistible convenience for my research." Da Vinci spread his hands and said matter-of-factly, "Doing scientific research is very expensive, especially my projects." He said with some resentment, "Although Colombia also gives money, those capitalists are too long-winded. They always want to see financial reports and conversion rates. But in the pupil organization, as long as you're a genius, you can squander resources without restraint." "It's that simple?" Zhang Yi was somewhat surprised. "It's that simple." Da Vinci pointed to his head. "Those who have been absorbed into the eye organization are either madmen or geniuses who have reached the pinnacle in a certain field. People like us are very difficult to be brainwashed by something as vague and ethereal as religion. Faith? Huh, that's just psychological comfort sought by the weak in their suffering and poverty. For us, truth and knowledge are the only God." Zhang Yi nodded. This reason was very valid and also very Da Vinci-esque. "So, what do you plan to do next? Go back to Colombia to report?" Zhang Yi asked. "Go back? No, it's too boring there." Da Vinci suddenly leaned close to Zhang Yi, his dead fish eyes almost touching Zhang Yi's face, his eyes flashing with fanaticism. "Hey Zhang, I want to stay in Tianhai City for a while." He rubbed his hands together and said with a grin, "You seem to have acquired some of the legacy of the ancient civilization. How could the overall strength of the Huashu kingdom have improved so quickly? Let me broaden my horizons. And my staying here will be a great help to you as well. I have visited your biological laboratory. Although the equipment is good, the embryo culture process and gene editing algorithm are so crude that it's like a primitive person using a stone to crack a walnut. I can help you optimize it and even increase the probability of the awakening of superhumans." "You?" Zhang Yi raised an eyebrow, and his heart immediately fluttered. Professor Leonardo da Vinci's intelligence is comparable to that of Yang Xinxin. Only the two of them are on the same path. Yang Xinxin's favorite thing is to manipulate people's hearts and plot wars. Leonardo da Vinci, on the other hand, loved to delve into science and created many strange and unconventional things. Otherwise, Brian, this strange dog, would have been born. To be honest, his team didn't have anyone like Professor Leonardo da Vinci. If he had joined Zhang Yi's team earlier, he would most likely have gone down the cyberpunk route and been transformed into a super orc. What's the most valuable thing in the 21st century? Talent. Although he was tempted, Zhang Yi still couldn't help but ask, "Will that old fox Morgan release them? You are the chief scientist of Colombia, and you are a freelancer." "I'm just giving them work. I'm selling myself to them." Da Vinci dismissed it with a sneer, his tone arrogant. "In this world, I'm the only one who chooses a boss, not the other way around. Now, I'm optimistic about your future. You possess the potential to disrupt the old order. Furthermore, I am very interested in the technology you brought back from Mars." Zhang Yi looked at this mad scientist and quickly began to make plans in his mind. Although Tianhai City has Liu Karen, a mechanical genius, and Yang Xinxin, a super brain, It does lack a master like Leonardo da Vinci in areas such as biological genetic engineering and some basic theoretical research. If we could keep him here, even if it's just to work, it would be a huge boost to the technology of Huashu Kingdom. Make a deal. Zhang Yi smiled and extended his hand towards him. You can stay. In exchange, I will share some of the technical data of the Sand Raider civilization with you. Of course, only the non-core parts. Zhang Yi added, smiling like a shrewd businessman. If you want to see the core technology, you'll have to see how you perform in the future. Chapter 2763 Luo Qiao 1. No problem. Da Vinci excitedly grasped Zhang Yi's hand. I've got something new to research. I'd even sleep on the lab floor for you. Watching Leonardo da Vinci's triumphant figure, Zhang Yi knew that he had gotten a top-notch laborer for free. However, the first step he chose to take Professor Leonardo da Vinci was to the Centipede Farm. As a valuable source of raw materials for Tianhai City, the Centipede Farm is now growing in scale. The origins below Epsilon can be mass-produced as long as there is enough energy. Therefore, the Shadow Squad is composed of individuals at the top Delta level. However, currently, this level of combat power is not entirely useless in high-end battlefields, but it is practically negligible. Only those who have reached the territory of Epsilon are barely qualified to play a role in large-scale wars. Otherwise, a few mechanical life forms would be more useful. At least mechanical life forms are tough and durable, and they are not afraid of death. The first task Zhang Yi gave to Professor da Vinci was to create centipedes of the Epsilon level. Professor Leonardo da Vinci knew that this was a test from Zhang Yi, so he gladly accepted it. However, he also made a request. I will also participate in your embryo laboratory. Why? Zhang Yi asked, puzzled. To everyone's surprise, Professor Leonardo da Vinci's face revealed an extremely strange curve. I want to try and see what we'll create if we fuse them together. What exactly is the creator's definition of humanity? How much of other life forms must be incorporated into the human genetic sequence for it to be considered human? Obtain the ether fragments. His eyes gradually burned with fervor and madness, and he even couldn't help but jump up and down, pointing two middle fingers at the sky. Wouldn't it be better if we could glimpse the underlying logic of the creator and directly create an army of orcs of the Epsilon level? Zhang Yi's eyes widened slowly. He was astonished by Professor Leonardo da Vinci's insane ideas. However, Zhang Yi quickly laughed. Okay, go ahead and do it. If you can make it happen, I will provide full support no matter how many resources you need. Trust those you employ, and don't employ those you don't trust. This is Zhang Yi's style of doing things. After resting for less than a day after returning to Tianhai City, an encrypted email was sent to Zhang Yi's private terminal the next morning. The source of the letter was not concealed, and the note was very straightforward. Ling Clan Alok. The spirit race? Zhang Yi sat at the dining table, dressed in a black bodysuit, barefoot on a thick carpet, drinking porridge while looking at information on the holographic screen. The spirit race. He didn't have a strong impression of this race. 5 days ago, at the All Races Conference, the spirit race also attended, but they remained silent throughout, neither as aggressive as the Tyrannosaurus race, nor as subservient as some smaller races. They belonged to the typical neutral faction, showing no obvious malice towards the 6th generation of humans, but also remaining completely unfriendly. They are like a group of ghosts detached from the mundane world. They want to visit Tianhai City. Zhang Yi casually forwarded the letter to Yang Xinxin, then took a sip of the preserved egg and lean pork congee. Yang Xia's cooking skills are getting better and better. Her food is delicious, colorful, and flavorful. The key is that it can make you feel energetic and restore your physical strength after eating it. Xian, what do you think? Yang Xinxin glanced at it and said indifferently, what else could it be for? It's probably for information about the Starry Sky Corridor. The bait you released in your live stream was too tempting, even neutral parties couldn't sit still. See? Yes, of course I'll see you. Zhang Yi wiped his mouth, a glint of shrewdness flashing in his eyes. In the future, we'll be dealing with many distant civilizations. Since I want to use the Star Corridor to set things up, I can't do it behind closed doors. If we refuse to communicate, it will only make us look guilty and may even arouse unnecessary hostility. Moreover, I also want to see just how much this so-called spirit race really is. Zhang Yi replied to the email, agreeing to the visit request. The next day at noon, Tianhai Port. Despite the Great War, the port's restoration work proceeded quickly. At this moment, the sea was calm and still, shrouded in a light morning mist. Zhang Yi arrived at the dock with Yang Xinxin, Lu Karen, and several key members of the Shadow Squad. There was no grand welcoming ceremony, no red carpet, and no flowers. But around the dock, squads of fully armed sand-snatching robots patrolled methodically, while the faint roar of fighter jet engines could be heard in the sky. This is a silent deterrent, a show of force to visitors. They're here. Zhang Yi looked up at the horizon. Looking out at the distant sea, a huge wave was rapidly approaching. Surprisingly, even though nothing could be seen there and the radar only showed a blurry shadow, the ripples clearly cut through the waves. It wasn't until the ship had sailed within a few hundred meters of the harbor that the group could vaguely make out its outline. It was a huge, completely transparent ship. It appears to be made of some special liquid material, blending perfectly with the surrounding seawater, not only providing optical cloaking but also seemingly isolating most detection waves. If it hadn't revealed itself, ordinary defense systems wouldn't have been able to detect it at all. Optical camouflage combined with fluid materials? Interesting. Lu Karen pushed up her goggles, a hint of tech geek interest flashing in her eyes. The large, transparent ship slowly approached the shore without making a sound. After the large ship docked at the port, a streak of light flashed and the gangway was lowered. Immediately afterwards, a tall, slender figure slowly stepped off the boat. He was a man who looked extremely light-skinned. His appearance was almost indistinguishable from that of a sixth-generation human. He wore a well-tailored black trench coat and casually put his hands in his pockets. However, he has obvious features of a different ethnic group. His skin was exceptionally fair, almost translucent, and you could vaguely see the pale blue veins underneath. His ears were pointed, like those of a legendary elf. Most striking of all were his eyes. Without pupils, they were a pure, deep black, like two miniature black holes. 6 glowing fish floated around his body out of thin air. These fish were not physical entities, but rather a kind of spiritual energy. They swam and hovered around him joyfully, radiating a soft light. The spirit race, Locke. He doesn't give off a dangerous vibe. Instead, he has a natural affability, like a friendly older brother next door. It's a pleasure to meet you, Lord Chaos. I've heard so much about you, but seeing you in person is much better. Luo Qiao walked up to Zhang Yi, slightly bent down, and her pure black eyes held a gentle smile. Chapter 2760, for Luo Qiao 2. I am Luo Qiao of the Spirit Clan. Please forgive my intrusion. You're too kind. Zhang Yi reached out and gently shook hands with the other person. The touch was slightly cool, like touching a warm, smooth stone. We are honored that our friends from the Spirit Clan are willing to visit Tianhai City. Please. Zhang Yi stepped aside and invited Luo Qiao into the reception room that had been prepared. Inside the reception room, after the guests and hosts were seated, tea and refreshments were served. Zhang Yi, Yang Xinxin, and Zhou Ke received him together. Locke didn't have the arrogance common among ancient races. His speech and behavior were very proper, even somewhat refined. He offered a few simple compliments to Zhang Yi and praised the speed of the reconstruction of Huashu Kingdom before getting straight to the point. Lord Zhang Yi, let's be frank. I've come here with the sincerity of my entire clan, hoping to make a deal with you. Luo Qiao stared directly at Zhang Yi with his black eyes, and the several spirit fish around him also quieted down. We are very interested in the upcoming Starry Sky Corridor. As far as we know, you are the only person who has ever been in close contact with that place, and may even have access to internal information about the department. The Eldar hope to exchange some useful information from you. Of course, we will accept it for free. As he spoke, Luo Qiao snapped his fingers lightly. The air behind him distorted, and an exquisite metal box appeared out of thin air, landing on the table. The box was opened, and an energy fluctuation so dense it was almost tangible instantly filled the entire room. Inside, dozens of fist-sized crystals were neatly stacked. These crystals exhibit a dreamy purple hue, with an interior that appears to be swirling with nebulae. This is a high-concentration psionic crystal. Luo Qiao smiled and said, "Each piece contains energy equivalent to the annual power generation of a small nuclear power plant. Moreover, this energy is very pure and can be directly absorbed by living organisms or sophisticated machinery." Lu Karen's eyes lit up instantly. "This is amazing. It can be used to enhance the Sandsweeper robot and can even serve as backup energy for the Dreamer." Zhang Yi glanced at the box, but his face did not show any greed. After all, for him, energy is something like. Luo Qiao's friendly attitude made Zhang Yi feel some goodwill towards him. But this does not mean he will hold nothing back. I have seen Mr. Luo Qiao's sincerity. Zhang Yi tapped his fingers lightly on the table, seemingly weighing the pros and cons. In fact, all of this was within his and Yang Xinxin's expectations. Back when they were still on their return journey from space, they had already compiled a set of special materials specifically for this situation. They were just waiting for the ancient civilization to come and gather intelligence before sending it out. The things here are half true and half false, and since other civilizations also don't understand the star corridor, they can't tell the difference either. Since the spirit race is so generous, I can't be stingy either. Zhang Yi nodded to Yang Xinxin. Yang Xinxin understood, took out the data disk that had been prepared beforehand, and plugged it into the projector. These are some scenes I recorded when I was exploring the outer perimeter of the starry sky corridor. Zhang Yi pointed to the breathtaking blue double helix corridor in the holographic projection and spoke slowly. This set of information is not entirely false. A lie that is half true and half false is the highest form of lie. Zhang Yi showcased the grandeur of the starry sky corridor, the shattered spatial bubbles surrounding it, and even some wandering, blurry, and terrifying spirits within. These are all true, but they are meant to increase credibility. But the key point is that he concealed the terrifying destructive power of those spirits that could instantly kill the demon god's armor, as well as the despairing density of death deep within the corridor. At the same time, he certainly added something extra. In his materials, he intentionally marked some special energy nodes and named them the Omega Ladder entrance. He also used Yang Xinxin's technical methods to simulate some energy response spectra of what appears to be supercosmic matter. It's a mix of truth and illusion, clear to the eye, but the images deliberately convey a sense of mystery and vastness, as if some high-energy substance resides within them. This indeed made Luo Qiao's eyes widen slightly, and he quietly clenched his fists. "Mr. Locke, I must remind you." Zhang Yi stared intently at Luo Qiao, his tone becoming exceptionally serious and sincere. "Although I've approached the starry sky corridor, I can sense that it's extremely dangerous inside. That kind of danger even makes me, a Black Knight, feel uneasy. So, I didn't dare to go deep inside at the time." But Zhang Yi changed the subject, his eyes revealing a perfect blend of fervor and regret. Given the strength of the Star Clan, that civilization must have produced at least one Omega-level being. This is a race that even the Creator fears. Even if they only find a little bit of Omega-level Inhumans repair experience in their ruins, or a broken piece of advanced civilization's machinery, it would be an unimaginable treasure for us Inhumans who are still struggling to explore. This information contains my speculation on the location of that Omega staircase. As for its accuracy, I can only guarantee it. Luo Qiao listened attentively, a glint of shrewdness occasionally flashing in her pure black eyes. He didn't completely trust Zhang Yi's words, but having seen some things with his own eyes, he couldn't doubt them. Because the information provided by Zhang Yi was so detailed, those spatial parameters and energy fluctuation diagrams could not possibly be fabricated out of thin air. Moreover, Zhang Yi's conflicted attitude of wanting to go but not daring to go is just too reasonable. Zhang Yi shrugged, making a sincere expression. I have tried to explore that place that is full of great risks and opportunities, but unfortunately, I am not strong enough, and our Huashu kingdom is not well established. So I retreated, because I am capable of doing things. If something happens to me, my tribe will be finished. Zhang Yi sighed, his expression showing a hint of regret. If the burden weren't so heavy, I might actually consider being brave for once. These words made Luo Qiao nod in agreement. This explanation made perfect sense. After all, everyone in the village has such a strong adventurous spirit. Thank you very much, Mr. Zhang Yi. Luo Qiao stood up, solemnly put away the data disk, and a satisfied smile appeared on her face. This intelligence is of vital importance to the Eldar. Your honesty has earned you the friendship of the Eldar. Those energy stones, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Zhang Yi also smiled and stood up to shake hands. If we happen to enter the Starry Sky Corridor at that time, I hope everyone can join in. Chapter 2765 Loot 1. After seeing Luo Qiao off, Zhang Yi looked at the box of high-concentration energy stones and casually tossed it to Lu Karen. Take it and give your precious machines a treat. This stuff is just a nice bonus for me, but it's a real boon for them. Thank you, boss. Long live the boss. Lu Karen cheered and ran off with the box in her arms. Seeing this, Yang Xinxin's lips curled into a sly smile. Brother, this Luo Qiao seems very smart. He won't believe everything you say, but he's definitely tempted. Because greed is a characteristic of the class. Zhang Yi said calmly, glancing out the window. Intelligent people are often more confident and have more faith in their own judgment. When they see even a glimmer of hope for becoming gods, all reason will give way to desire. In the following months, the sea seemed to become the center of the world. One after another, envoys from many distant civilizations, as well as high-ranking officials from various countries, came to visit. The deep-sea sharks, the towering eagles of the mountains, even the Knights of the Round Table from Britannia, and even representatives from the distant, sealed-off Fremont, have all come to inquire about the Star Corridor. Zhang Yi accepts all comers. His attitude remained lukewarm, maintaining the composure of a powerful figure, but he generously shared the meticulously prepared information, a mix of truth and falsehood, with every faction that came with sincerity, resources. Such a sensible attitude naturally won the favor of most forces. But Zhang Yi wasn't stupid. Every time, he would subtly let those representatives know that the Starry Sky Corridor might hold a huge treasure, but it might also harbor a huge crisis. He would also kindly warn the girl not to go there lightly. However, when the benefits are large enough, many people can forget the dangers behind them. Seeing those burning eyes, Zhang Yi knew they were definitely going to the Starry Sky Corridor. As this information spread, the entire circle of powerful individuals on Earth was in an uproar. The legend of the Omega Stairs became more and more real and mythical with each retelling. A huge net, with Zhang Yi's encouragement, has been quietly set in motion, awaiting the grand harvest 2 years later. Moreover, just as Zhang Yi had predicted, besides them, there were other manipulators pulling the strings behind the scenes. This drove all races even more mad. Later on, even those groups that initially harbored doubts and had no intention of going to the Star Corridor began to waver. You can choose to doubt, or you can choose not to go. However, if you don't go, and your nemesis goes to the Starry Sky Corridor and returns with immense power, then your race is doomed. Zhang Yi is the best example. So, it is clear how he, through repeated adventures, transformed Huashu Kingdom into a power with a mid-level strength among all races. What happened to the large ethnic group? Everything else is a lie. To put it bluntly, Zhang Yi has become stronger. Even if the powerful clans didn't set a trap to kill Zhang Yi, sooner or later, Zhang Yi would easily find a reason to wipe them out. Because of this phenomenon, all races are like crabs that have fallen into a bamboo basket, one dragging another, and none of them can climb out of the basket. Meanwhile, all eyes were on the Starry Sky Corridor, and after the smoke of war cleared, the sea of ushered in a rare golden period of development. After acquiring the vast resources, technology, and precious historical documents of the great Yuan Yan civilization, the entire Huashu kingdom seemed to have been injected with a powerful stimulant. Countless skyscrapers rose from the ruins, creating a new type of city that combined Titan bioarchitectural techniques with modern engineering. These buildings are not only exceptionally sturdy, but also possess a self-healing ecological cycle system. On the streets, besides the busy crowds, you can also see teams of sand-sweeping machines assisting in moving heavy objects. The sky was no longer overcast. Several patrol airships, captured and modified from the Ironclad clan, were flashing their warning lights, guarding the peace of this land through the night. A scene of prosperity and flourishing, as if a golden age had arrived. However, Zhang Yi, who was on the top floor of Yunk Manor, looked at the bustling scene outside the window, but his eyes were always covered with a layer of frost that could not be melted. Prosperity is often the prelude to destruction. Zhang Yi gently stroked the cold glass with his fingers, muttering to himself. He knew very well that the current peace was merely the calm before the storm. It could even be said that this is an extremely fragile balance, because he holds too many bombs. Ling's interdimensional body. This is the highest legacy left by the Yihan tribe, the key to godhood that all distant civilizations have dreamed of. The act of slaying a single thought, this forged an irreconcilable blood feud between him and the unpredictable Nightmare clan. Forcing Qing to retreat, this further cemented his place on the Tyrannosaurus clan's kill list. Although the Dragon clan is currently holding the line, and those old guys are hesitant to act openly for fear of harming the dragons, this is not a long-term solution. Zhang Yi turned around and went back to his desk, looking at the holographic map and the areas marked with red danger dots. Mountains may crumble, and friends may run away. In this dark forest, the only one you can truly rely on is yourself. 2 more years. Zhang Yi's gaze fell upon the deep starry sky. All the distant civilizations are preparing for the Star Corridor 2 years from now. This is the greatest opportunity in their eyes, and it is my perfect chance to catch my breath. Within 2 years, I must hone all my trump cards to the extreme. Otherwise, when that so-called ghost ship docks, it will be my death day. 3 meters underground, the top-secret laboratory. This is Lu Karen's territory, the heart of the entire Huashu Kingdom's technology. At this moment, Lu Karen was wearing tactical goggles and busy in front of a huge anti-gravity platform. In the center of the platform, 2 tattered suits of armor, still exuding an aura of terror, floated. One was the remains of the ultimate single-soldier mech that the leader of the Ironclad clan had lost. Even though the black metal was broken, it still had a texture that could devour light. The other item was a fragment of black armor peeled off from the Nightmare One-Thought body, its surface shrouded in a faint spiritual black mist. How is it? Will it work? Zhang Yi walked into the laboratory and asked Lu Karen, who was busy and sweating profusely. Call. Lu Karen took off her goggles and wiped the sweat from her forehead. Although she was exhausted, her big eyes shone with a fervent light. Boss, this is absolutely incredible. She pointed to the 2 piles of wreckage and said excitedly, the internal structure of this metal of the Ironclad clan is actually a liquid lattice. This means it possesses almost unlimited physical resistance and self-repairing ability. And this armor of Yin Yan is even more outrageous. It is not matter at all, but a solidified spiritual power. Chapter 2760, 6 Loot 2. I've tested it. Even when you use your Dark Realm flow to wash over them, these 2 things only lasted a short time before collapsing. This defensive power is simply amazing. Especially the Nightmare clan's armor, which naturally possesses resistance to mental attacks. If you can integrate it into the White Emperor's battle armor, you won't be so passive when facing those illusionists in the future. Zhang Yi nodded. The weapons and armor of these top experts from ancient civilizations must be the culmination of the entire civilization's technology, like the white armor of the White Emperor. After all, the limits of civilization's development ultimately depend on the combat power of its top individuals. Can I incorporate them into my white Emperor battlesuit? Able. Liu Karen nodded heavily and then pulled up a complex holographic drawing. However, boss, I have to tell you something. Her expression became slightly serious. Although we look very strong now, I haven't even explored 5% of the technological legacy left by that engineer of the Ihen clan. That civilization's technology was too advanced. Many of its theories completely overturned existing physics. It's like asking primitive people to build a nuclear reactor. But Liu Karen clenched her small fist. In the next 2 years, as long as I don't take a break, I'm confident I can master the key parts. Not only can these 2 suits of armor be perfectly integrated into your white Emperor battlesuit, but they can also push our Huashu Kingdom's military system to a higher level. No need to skip a rest. Zhang Yi smiled and ruffled her hair, his eyes gentle yet tinged with a hint of tenderness. Don't overwork yourself. I believe in you. Actually, the situation isn't that tense yet. Now, Liu Karen is truly spinning like a top every day, constantly on the go. There's nothing we can do about it. That's how it is in the later stages of the tech tree. Zhang Yi relies too much on her to develop technology, and as for her personal relationships, he cannot trust her. By the way, boss, what name are you planning to give to the new battle suit after the fusion? Liu Karen asked expectantly. Zhang Yi stared at the suspended black and white materials for a moment, then pondered. The fused battlesuit should be black and white. The White Emperor's battlesuit is a bit unsuitable. So, a zebra print battlesuit? That's a bit tacky. Since it combines the ultimate physical force with a spiritual barrier, then let's call it God Annihilation. God's Demise. What a great name. After arranging the equipment upgrades, Zhang Yi once again entered seclusion. This time, chose the absolute quiet chamber underground in the Yunk Manor as her place of seclusion. This place has the highest level of physical isolation and energy shielding. No one can get in except for myself. Except for one person, of course. Ray. This human form from the Ihen tribe is currently sitting cross-legged and floating in midair, holding a bag of potato chips and making a crunching sound, showing no signs of being a master. But in Zhang Yi's eyes, she was the most mysterious mentor in the universe. The power system of the superverse is far more vast than you can imagine. While eating potato chips, Ling casually pointed at Zhang Yi, who was meditating. Ordinary superhumans merely borrow energy. Knights begin to manipulate energy. And when one reaches the level of a Black Knight, or even touches the threshold of Omega, the competition is about the ability to interfere with the underlying structure of the material world. You're lucky, or rather, you're abnormal. Ling glanced at Zhang Yi. You possess the 3 most supreme powers: time, space, and antimatter, void. These 3 powers are precisely the cornerstones that constitute the material world of this universe. If one day in the future you can integrate these 3 elements, not to mention the Tyrannosaurus Rex, theoretically you would even be able to fight against a real Omega. Zhang Yi closed his eyes, and the space around him was constantly twisting and folding, as if countless tiny worlds were being created and destroyed around him. Is trying to use the power of the void to erode space, and then using the power of time to solidify this erosion. This is difficult. It's like dancing on a cusp, where the slightest misstep can trigger a backlash from the rules. After Su Ji finished speaking, Zhang Yi slowly opened his eyes and exhaled a breath of stale air. Ray, I've been thinking about something, Zhang Yi said, a shadow crossing his eyes. It's about the Nightmare Clan. Although Enian is dead, the Nightmare Clan still exists. That race is too strange and omnipresent. I was hit by Enian's dream-slaying kill back then. If I hadn't been lucky, I might not have woken up. Zhang Yi raised his hand and looked at his palm. Even now, when I'm extremely tired, I sometimes still have a sense of disorientation. Is everything in front of me really reality? Or am I still in that 9th layer of dream, having a beautiful dream of overcoming a single thought? This self-doubt is like a thorn, deeply embedded in my heart. The Nightmare Clan still has powerful members. 2 years from now, in the Starry Sky Corridor, they will definitely make their move against me. Zhang Yi looked at Ling and asked sincerely, You are from the Ihan race. You should know the weaknesses of that race. What can I do to completely avoid this kind of mental attack? Mental defense equipment? Or some kind of special chain repair method? Even with the upgraded Godslayer armor, it cannot completely negate mental attacks. Ling stopped eating potato chips. She clapped the crumbs off her hands and let them float in front of Zhang Yi. Her eyes, which seemed to hold the stars and the sea, looked at her quietly. You're overcomplicating things, Ling said calmly. The Nightmare Clan's abilities are indeed vicious. They rely on dreams and the subconscious to launch attacks. As long as you are conscious and need rest, you are vulnerable to invasion. However, there is actually a very simple and brutal way to deal with them. What method? Zhang Yi asked eagerly. Ling tilted her head, a playful smile curving her lips. As long as you don't sleep, it's fine. Huh. Zhang Yi was stunned. Not sleeping? What kind of ridiculous suggestion is this? Humans, even those with supernatural abilities, need sleep to restore their mental energy. Prolonged lack of sleep can lead to neurasthenia or even breakdown, which would only give the Nightmare Clan an opportunity to exploit. Seeing Zhang Yi's stunned expression, Ling gave a soft snort. Idiot. Your current level of life is already that of a Black Knight. Your body and mind have long since transcended the realm of mortals. So-called sleep is nothing more than a rudimentary mechanism for the brain to clear metabolic waste and reorganize memories. For you right now, it can be completely replaced by deep meditation. In deep meditation, your consciousness is clear, even more so than usual. Any external mental intrusion will be as noticeable as ink on a blank sheet of paper in that state. Zhang Yi's eyes gradually brightened. Meditation as a substitute for
That's
sleep?
for today's chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the Buzz Play Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises.